Back to Roe v. Wade. The only thing that needs to be determined when it comes to Roe v. Wade, why everybody's freaking out, is the same reason we're talking. But it's the simple fact of how the law is written, the way it's written. That is all they were trying to decide. They cannot have opinions on that. They can't. They are not allowed to. They go off of the law. That's how the Supreme Court works.
Okay.
If that's the case, they need to be gone.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, the impeachment that Biden and them were calling for, no. There's no reason, because they cannot legally look at it that way. They have to legally look at it as
it's a black and white. It's not a
there's
gray.
No gray.
Right.
It is, the federal law did not have the judicial right to rule
over
abortions federally.
Yes.
It had to be turned to the states. Now,
Yes.
whatever states you don't like the state you live in, you're
gotta
free
move.
to move.
Exactly, and I get that.
And then all these companies coming in saying, well, we'll pay for you guys, your travel expenses and all this stuff, do abortions. Guess what? 90% of those companies, they aren't going to pay 3-month maternity leave.
No, for sure, and I get that.
So how's that even different?
I have a stance on RoeVWade that probably follows a lot of what people are thinking about RoeVWade. I don't agree with it. I know I just said I wasn't going to say anything. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with RoeVWade. I don't agree that it got overturned. As a woman, I think it's ridiculous. I think that it's terrible that they are trying to control, because it's an umbrella law. It controls a lot of other things, and it's
100%.
ridiculous and it's hard to get into. But why would you go so far to dox people? Why would you go so far to, hurt these people? Because they have families. Their families had nothing to do with what the single person did.
Right. Okay.
And that's terrifying, because that can happen to anybody, and that's what happens to individuals that get cancer.
On the Roe v. Wade, because I do want to get you guys' opinion on this.
Please.
Right.
When you look at it, because the Supreme Court doesn't look at it as in, I'm going to hurt someone's family. They look at it as a law. That's something a lot of people know.
No, I'm listening.
That's something a lot of people cannot understand, is there's a separation between federal and state governments. There has to be, or else we're run by the government.
Absolutely.
So
we have too many laws.
The problem is,
100%.
the thing is, I don't give, let me put this out there right away. I don't, do all you want. I don't care who you are, who you love, whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Don't throw it in my face. I don't care. Okay. By law, by the writing of the law, it is not federal that they can put that in there.
Yes.
It's not. It should be left up to the states.
Yes.
Whatever the states do, that's up to them. That's up to the people of the state, not just legislators.
Yes.
Which is what Roe v. Wade being overturned did. It put it back to the states.
Back to the states. That's what people don't understand.
But the thing is that the states, from what I know right now, what I have been taught,
There's
and this is why
14 of them that don't want abortion. 14 out of 50.
They refuse.
yes, that are refusing to,
out of
yes.
50.
But our
Refuse.
state is not one of those states. Our state is not one of those states, and that's what scares me about living in this state, and one of the things that I worry about. Our state is not one of those states that are refusing to overturn Roe v. Wade. Our state has overturned Roe v. Wade. What does that say for women in our state that have to deal with that now?
I want to throw this point out there and get y'all's point on this. If I come in here and you're pregnant and I shoot you, you die. That's considered
two.
That's two.
Yes.
So why can I come in here, shoot you, kill you, and your baby not born yet? But it's 2 counts of murder. But if you choose to end it,
Wait.
It's
not
only counted
murder.
as one.
Hold on.
No, it's not counted as murder.
No,
It's not counted.
If I choose to abort the baby, it's not murder.
Well,
why is that
depends
okay?
on our.
Hold on, by the way, I'm going to tell you wrong on that. 2 months. If they are under 2 months pregnant, it is not 2. It is only 1 murder.
Either way, you're still pregnant at a certain point.
Because of
2 months is what federal
the
law
development
states.
of the brain.
Yeah.
It's federal law. It's the development of the brain. As soon as the brain is developed in a
That's
fetus.
where federal law crosses state law
Yes.
on that.
As
Now,
soon as
That's
the
when they
development of a brain
consider
is
it
fetus,
as human.
that's when it is human. Because
That's
you
why
have
they
to have
have
a brain to
15
have
weeks.
conscientious
It's a
thought.
Right.
Before you have conscientious thought, it's nothing. So that's, and I don't
But
want to
that's
get
my
too into
opinion.
that
Oh,
because I
no.
am a woman. Obviously, I have my own opinion
Yeah.
about that, but I don't want to get too
A baby
into.
is a baby.
A baby is a baby is a baby, but there is a point at the baby is not developed enough yet to
Be a baby?
Exactly, be a baby.
Okay, but where do
because
you
of
put
brain,
that?
but because
Are
of
you
brain
sure?
function, because
But where do you draw that line?
Is
Because
it
if I'm
15
old,
weeks? Is it 5 weeks?
I'm not
Most-
sure because
most
I've never
women-
been. I can't give my full because I've never been pregnant. So I
Most
don't
women
know.
don't know that they're pregnant until they are 5 to 7 weeks.
Yes,
Seven.
exactly. And I
5 to
don't.
7
I'm
weeks.
not.
So where
Because
do you
then you
draw
start
that line?
feeling the flutter.
So where do you draw that line? Is it 15? Is it 12? Is it 38?
Listen,
No.
here's my thing.
As
though.
soon
Okay,
as I find out that I'm pregnant, I have a baby.
okay, but here's.
There
Oh,
you
I
go.
get that, and I get that. Here's my thing
There you
though.
go.
I have a lot.
My stance with RoeVWade is very unique because if you are not raped, that is the big thing about me. Rape is the exception for my stance on having a child. Because if you're raped, why would you have your rapist child? That's where I stand.
Yeah,
on that,
I got you.
know, but
So,
other than that, if the other stance that I have that is the exception for aborting a child is financial readiness to have a child. And if you, like if you
I'm
can't
sorry,
afford the
I've
child,
never heard
You
of
will
anybody that
never.
has never been financially
oh, and I
ready
get
for
that,
a
but
child.
I get that. But if there's somebody who is homeless and pregnant,
At-
that's what I.
that
Then why would
decision
they
should
do
have
that?
been made.
If you lay,
Well, how
if
did
you
you know
lay in
that's
the-
their
if
decision?
you
And
lay
that's why
in the
I'm like,
bed,
No,
you sow the seed you sow.
exactly 100%.
Okay.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, that decision should have been made.
Long
Right
before.
as you said, let me spread my legs.
okay, but what if it's a young girl? What if it's a young girl who is not of age? Okay, that got kicked out by her parents because she got pregnant.
Okay,
You probably shouldn't have laid
What
in
is
that
she?
bed.
I get that.
please continue. What's the
sorry.
storyline?
I'm sorry.
Tell me the storyline. No, seriously.
No, I can't.
Tell me the
I can't right
storyline.
now. I can't.
So
even
it's
think
a
of-
it's a
So the
girl.
girl has got either she was raped or she did something wrong with her boyfriend, or her boyfriend did something that was wrong, or the condom, because condoms aren't effective.
Right.
Birth control is not always effective.
100%.
She gets pregnant. Obviously, instead of her parents supporting her, she is kicked out. She is out on her own. What is she supposed to do? She's supposed to be homeless with a child instead of having the support of her family when it was not her fault because I get it, I get it. It's her boyfriend's fault. Her boyfriend should be the one that's responsible for
It's
it.
both.
Exactly. They're both are responsible for it. She should be responsible for it too. Why is she not allowed to abort that child if she knows that she's not responsible for it, if she found out she got pregnant and she was not intending on getting pregnant? Why is that her responsibility?
Do both parents agree? Literally, do both parents agree? Because it takes two people.
If one person agrees to the child and the other person doesn't, depending on who it is, because women are the ones that have to deal with the burden of childbirth.
So I should be able to walk away and not have to do child support.
Exactly. Yes, I agree to that. If you are not wanting the child, if you're the man that does not want the child, but the female wants the child, you should have to
walk
do
away.
both. Yeah, you
Literally
can walk
walk
away.
away.
Yeah,
I
you
agree
can
with
literally
that.
walk away. I agree with that.
At the same
But if
time,
you are the one that wants the child and your wife or your girlfriend, whatever, doesn't,
then
you have to pay child support, and either that or you get the child.
That's fine.
That's yours. And that's
exactly.
where that's where I stand with that.
But there's also plenty of women out there that pay child support.
Yes, and I get that. But if you both don't want the child should be allowed to be aborted. So I have like a very weird stance on abortion and stuff. But if neither of you
Why
want the child,
can't a person that can't have a baby
Adopt it.
adopt it?
Because I tell you right now, I know.
Because of the foster
they
system,
can-
because a lot of
they
children
can-
don't get adopted in foster systems.
That's
a lot
not
of
what
people
I'm
want young
saying.
children, but they don't want
That's
older
not what
children.
I'm saying. There are so many people. Take for instance me and say,
Yes.
if I found out that somebody was pregnant and I had a chance,
Okay.
if you wanted to abort that person, let me pay you this much money and I'll take the
Then
baby.
great. That's fine. And I agree with that. That's why I'm saying there are exceptions to it. I believe in the exceptions
It's
to
not
it,
even-
but if it's just
It's
like
not even the fact. It's not the. It's.
Go pee, go pee, go pee.
I'll wait.
I want the conversation. No, you're
No,
fine.
you're fine.
I'll wait.
But literally, what I was saying is, if a person, because there are a lot of women that can't have babies.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to get at is, and the only reason I'm even going to say this because you guys put it out there already on social media is, if it wasn't he was a mother rape victim, and you can cut this out, I'm just telling you, it was going to be. Two parents decided they can't, boom.
100%.
Yeah. So I had a best friend growing up who was the product of rape.
Yeah, that's
Who are you? I was thinking of.
no but he graduated.
Okay.
He put it out there that 1973 is when he was born. She was 14, rape victim. His parents, adopted him from her. 2 beautiful kids. One's 17, one's 12. I mean, if it wasn't for that, I'm trying to keep my
I'm just
I
saying my
got you.
grandkids
personal
will be
stuff
here.
out.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah, my mother's got 7 grandkids. I
I'm
mean,
just saying that there's,
I was
it takes on the person. Can the person adapt? Can the person go through it? If
Let me-
not, then
let me
okay.
let me start out this way. I was 18. I would have been 14 when he was born, but I was 18. Graduated early in 2014. Went to work. Met the girl. She had a kid. Had 3 of them. In January of 15.
Mhm.
Walked the stage in 15. First thing I did was walk past her, said, "See you." I grabbed that little boy up and said, "We're good from here."
Yep.
That was my kid. Raising him to this day. $300-400 a week. While I was raising him. Chose that. Glad. Would never do anything different. If I would have known at 14 she didn't want to have that kid, no, mine biologically. But if I would have known that, I was still eyeing her. I would have said, "Bullshit, let's go."
Let's have that
Which
baby.
I might be
It's
a little bit
baby.
different kind of person. I
Right.
might be, but that's my view on it. And also is.
I mean,
simple
other
fact
than
of
you,
I
do you
knew-
know any other 14-year-old child in high school now that wants to
Yes.
have a baby?
Yeah, I graduated from fucking Larry.
Aside from a male.
I don't
Well,
know
they weren't
any.
playing
I don't know
Yes.
any females that want to have a child at 14
It
years
wasn't.
old.
It's not that. It's a simple fact of
I don't know.
I was talking to her when he was 1.
Okay,
My dad was
and that's-
born by a 14.
Yeah, but what we're
That's-
saying is,
Yeah, not intentional. But when is it ever? When are you
it's
ever?
never.
financial-
You're never ready.
I mean, and I get that the financial one was a bad. I was sitting in there.
But
and I
if
was
it's
thinking
a
about
rape
the financial
victim-
was bad. But a
Yes.
rape victim, you
It's
know, like
completely
that's
different.
different. It's
But
so
if it's
different.
where you think you're in
Or-
love and
or-
you
or-
get
Yeah,
pregnant by
so you know, like, I get
accident
it.
and it's
I
one of
get
those,
it.
They tell you,
have my baby.
no, No,
I've
I'm
actually
talking
had
about-
that.
Really?
You think I'm fucking playing?
no, this,
For real?
in other words, just listening to this yesterday, this girl, she's having this kid, well, while she's pregnant with her daughter, she has a stroke.
Oh man.
They tell her,
Baby
your
or
daughter's
her?
gonna be fine, but she might only make it because of what this has done. She might only make it 5 months. Daughter made it to 7 years. Mother was killed 3 months later. But the daughter made it to 7 years because they wanted her to get rid of it. They said there's no point. She said no.
Keep it.
What I come back to is, in a lot of ways, say what you want. There are certain circumstances where I ain't trying to justify a goddamn thing. Your rape's fucking terrible.
But that's a very, very small percentage of the
Actually,
aborted-
it's not a small percentage.
It's
It's
not
gone up
small.
now?
No,
It's
It's
a
pretty
very
high.
high.
It's
yeah.
it's
It's a good percentage now.
and
Okay.
it's a lot of
What did it?
Rape victims,
Same.
sexual assault
But-
victims, all sorts
same
of stuff.
family.
Family is the biggest.
Do you,
Well,
do
last
you
time I
see what
did-
I'm saying? Same family
Uncle.
that has caused the
Yeah.
pregnancy. So
But that also falls on back on. Okay, so
Hmm.
back to
the
what
only
you-
thing that you could honestly do is be like, hey, I'm pregnant. It's an unwanted pregnancy. Does anybody want this baby?
And I get that. I believe. And here's my thing. And I didn't clearly. I was thinking about it. I didn't clearly influence this. Obviously, if you don't believe in abortion, you know, and it
there's a
wasn't
lot of
rape, and a
people
lot of
that
people don't, and it wasn't, and you're not a rape victim, adopt the child out. Give it a chance to have a good life.
Absolutely.
I don't like the foster care system,
No.
but if that's the decision
But
that
most
you want to
women-
do, if that's easier for you, put it into the foster care system.
Most
Because
women,
they're at least being taken care of to a certain point.
absolutely. And
But
most
if it is
women
a rape
that are
victim,
pregnant,
yeah,
they automatically get their baby taken as soon as they have that baby.
exactly. And I get that. But if you are a
'Cause
rape
people
victim,
want
you should have.
brand new
If you
babies.
are a rape victim, and that's where what I mostly care about with RoeVWade. If you're a rape victim and you don't want to have your rapist's child, you should not be charged federally, stately, whatever, for getting rid of that child as murder. because you didn't want it and it was forced upon you. This was not a decision that you made. This was not a decision that you thought, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have sex. You should not be forced to have the child. You shouldn't be forced to.
I agree with that 100%.
You know,
So
that's where I get. So it's a
where-
hard thing to discuss because of what it entails.
Well,
So I want to put a pause real quick.
go ahead.
Most people, when they talk about Planned Parenthood in this subject,
Yeah.
they think a lot of people are putting it under the umbrella of if a woman wants to have a vasectomy, or not a vasectomy, the other thing, where a woman can't have a baby anymore. What's that word?
Where her tube's tied.
Thank you.
It's
If-
hysterectomy.
thank
A
you.
hysterectomy.
I couldn't think of the word.
No, it's also a tubal because that's what my wife
It
does.
is.
Either way, that.
But you can still have a tubal baby.
But I
because
gotta
of-
say, I had to sign off on that. I will say that.
my husband had to sign up on that as well.
So that, I think, if you want to do as a woman and you're of age, make that damn decision. You can vote. You can go to war.
But that's the problem with Roe v. Wade is they're not letting it be easy for women to get hysterectomies. That's the other thing.
Okay,
There's
so-
so many other things that are going on with that. They're not making it
Well,
from what
The-
the
what,
knowledge
what,
I
I- what,
know.
I, what I'm
Hold on.
saying.
So they will not give a woman a hysterectomy unless
there's a
they have
medical reason.
had
Two
so many
kids,
children.
two kids, and over the age of 25.
Because they don't want you to regret.
But there are a
not
lot
having-
of people my generation
But I'm
that just don't want to
telling-
have
I'm
kids.
just
So
te-
why is
I'm
that?
just telling you.
It's 2 kids and 25.
But why
It
is that fair
well,
for
actually,
people who
it is
choose to
30
not
now.
have kids?
They have raised
At the
it.
time that my wife had our last kid,
They
it
have
was-
raised it for the simple fact of there's so many people
I'm
that have been regretting and then trying
Because
to
of the
sue because they're like they can't have any more kids.
Yeah, no,
But
the
then use a
same
surrogate.
principle.
Right.
You know, that's my thing. If you regret it later, and you obviously can't have your own kid, why would you sue? Use a surrogate. You know, there's options for you
There
there.
are options,
But
they
if
don't
you
take
know, for in your heart, because my sister doesn't want it. My little sister,
I would love to
who
have
is
a
18 years
child,
old,
but
that's
I
great for
can't.
you. Well, surrogate.
American.
Obviously, you
Wow.
have
Surrogate.
options. You know, you have
And I
have
could do an
options.
implant as well because
Exactly.
that is brand new.
Exactly,
Oh, yeah.
that is brand new.
Yes.
But my little sister, she knows for a fact she never wants children. She is never going to regret that. She knows in her heart, she has felt it, she has had dreams, she does not
Take
want
care of it.
children. She should be allowed to take care of it, but because of Roe v. Wade being turned, she can now not easily get it taken care of. She can get it taken care of, but it is
Before
going to
Roe
be
v.
very
Wade.
difficult for her to jump through the hoops to be
Well,
allowed.
Alright, so with me
When
on this,
Roe v.
I'm just talking
Wade-
about straight abortion. That stuff, if you don't want to have it and you're not pregnant,
There's
I
no
think-
way.
For real, that's
Go
part
for
of
it.
the problem with Roe v. Wade. She cannot easily just go up to her doctor and be like, I want her hysterectomy, because they'll be
No.
like, you're too
All
young.
they have to
No,
do is
it's-
go to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist signs off of it,
Same
and
way
it
it
is
goes
like
with a sex change. and
exactly.
everything else.
It's
That's
an
the-
exact
no,
same way.
I can tell you,
Not one
I
has
had
been
my
shown
last
to be
kid-
explained
I
to
had
me.
my last kid
Okay.
in 2016. Guess what? Roe v. Wade was still there, right?
Right.
So all that was done because it was too dangerous for my wife to have another kid.
Yes.
For me,
Guess what?
it's same.
Guess
Yeah.
what? Guess what? All I had to do was sign. That's fine. No big deal.
I didn't
So
get to that, so I'm gonna
So-
back to that.
when it comes to what you're talking about, it's basically how do they call it? Eunuch. Some type of mastration. Not mastration. Castration.
Castration.
Chemical castration.
Yeah.
Basically in the same terms. By doing so, all they need is the exact same thing that a male or female needs to transition into male or female. Is you simply go see a psychiatrist. Hear me out.
Okay, I'm
You
listening.
simply
I'm
see a
listening. I'm listening. I'm
psychiatrist.
listening.
6 months. That's all it takes.
Yep.
6 months.
You have to prove certain criteria, certain tests, more or less, within this time period to prove that you
Are
Or-
this gender? No, seriously, I know this because of one of my best friends. Her daughter wanted to be a male.
Okay.
not in.
And I was gonna say that I'm
70% of them try to revert
Exactly.
because I get into this in a minute, but I think it's more mental illness than
yes,
anything else.
you can't change if you're.
Let's just keep
But
going.
at what we're at, what we're talking about is the exact same way when it comes to if a woman does not ever want to have kids, like a woman, or do what you need to do through a psychiatrist, through a doctor, to make it to where that's available. They can do it.
I get that. They can do it, and that's what I was saying.
There's no law.
No, I agree. That's what I was saying, but it's become increasingly difficult
It's
now
increasingly
after
difficult
Roe
to
v.
do
Wade
anything.
being overturned. All I was saying is that it's become increasingly difficult now after Roe v. Wade being overturned. No, and that's not what I was saying. And I want to make that clear. That's not what I was saying. They can do it, but it has become increasingly difficult. Increasingly difficult. It is more difficult than it was before than it is now. That is all I was saying. I was not saying that it isn't impossible. But the other thing that I wanted to bring up that she mentioned, what about women who physically should not have a child? Like, that is hurting them, it is killing them, because my mother would have died having my sister.
I almost died having Gabriel.
Exactly.
My wife almost
So
died right now.
who is the priority then? Is it the mother or is it the child? Would you risk, like, and that's putting it into a perspective of,
Well,
would you
I
risk
wrote
your
down. I wanted him.
The child comes first.
Because
Well,
they ask
90%
you.
of women-
Because they ask you.
They ask my
If
wife.
it is a legitimate life or death situation, which it was with Gabriel,
Okay.
they asked me, do I want to be resuscitated or do I want my child?
Right.
I said my child.
Okay.
100%, they give you that option at least 2 months before your delivery date.
Okay.
I said him 100%.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
Okay. I get that. I'm not talking about at childbirth though. I'm talking about when you find out you are having a child and you already know you are not fit to have a child. Because there are a lot of friends of mine who physically should not have children, and one of mine got pregnant and she knew from the get-go when she found out she was pregnant that she shouldn't have that child. But her
Why?
family didn't, because she was too small, she was too skinny, she was too sickly already, and she was pregnant. And obviously that was her decision to get pregnant, but she was not physically capable to have the child. And I know that goes into a lot of things,
It does.
but she would have died. Why does she not get to decide and to save herself over a child that is maybe even a couple of weeks old? A couple of weeks. That's where I'm talking about, at the
Because
very
it's still-
beginning of a pregnancy. That's what I don't understand. I haven't learned anything on that. I'm not trying to argue
That's
that
where
or
I
say
try
that
to
it's
explain.
fair.
No,
I haven't learned on that yet. So
beyond,
that's what I'm
beyond
asking.
that depth of the conversation, all I was getting at with RoeVWade with Wade was simply the fact of they freaked out. They're protesting in front of their houses, which is all.
I think it's ridiculous. I don't think they should be-
illegal. It's
Exactly.
illegal.
Yes.
But